one KO. He is one of YouTube's biggest stars, fighting out of Calabasas, California.
Once Jake Paul knocked out Mike Perry in the 6th round, something striking happened regarding his fight with Mike Tyson. However, only a few boxing personalities were privy to it, to avoid any upset regarding Mike Tyson's health.
Wearing his traditional black and officially weighing in at 220.4 pounds.
It was one of the criteria for the sanctioning of the main fight after Tyson's recent health scare.
By way of Cleveland, Ohio, here is Jake, the problem child, Paul!
And once the preparatory fight was over, we didn't only get the main fight confirmed, but we were given an official outlook of how the fight would go, as both fighters brought forward their best weapons.
As the baddest man on the planet, from Brownsville and the Catskills.
Interestingly, Mike Tyson's health seemed to be in the very best condition, better than it was 4 years ago, when he fought Roy Jones Jr.
Good instructions given by the ref in the early going. Mike gets him with the right hand, and ATN is down.
Those who had always doubted Mike Tyson were shocked by not just the outcome, but the manner in which the boxing legend looked so much like his younger self. His footwork was impressive, like one who had truly abstained from moments and substances that could affect his performance. His head movement was as great as it was 27 years ago when his opponent Jake Paul was born. Iron Mike Tyson defied the odds of youthfulness and proved he was truly metallic by knocking out the younger Jake Paul.
He's not gonna make it. It's 7, 8, 9, and 10. He knocks him out.
With his little experience, Jake Paul also did the best he could do, making efforts to keep the distance, like he did against Mike Perry, and also throwing the punches whenever Mike Tyson got too close. However, there's something about experience that can't be bought by youthfulness, and that was Tyson's main weapon in conquering Jake Paul.
In the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, the bout ends at 2 minutes.
Before Jake Paul eventually saw his black laid on the canvas, he endured so much from Mike Tyson. But here's what fans don't really know. In the past, Tyson intimidated fighters with his strength, combined with outstanding hand speed, accuracy, coordination, and timing.
32 seconds of the opening round. Right hand to the side of the jaw.
And all of this was very instrumental in getting the better of his opponent. Tyson also possessed notable defensive abilities, holding his hands high in the peekaboo style taught by his mentor Cus D'Amato to slip under and weave around his opponent's punches while timing his own.
Tyson, a fellow for whom everybody predicts a great future. If they can find some fights.
Tyson's explosive punching technique was due in large part to crouching immediately prior to throwing a hook or an uppercut. This allowed the spring of his legs to add power to the punch, and in his preparatory fight, he showed all of this to his opponent.
In their training camps, and he was quoted as saying not too many weeks ago that
among his signature moves was a right hook to his opponent's body, followed by a right uppercut to his opponent's chin. Lorenzo Boyd, Jesse Ferguson, and Jose Ribalta were each knocked down by this combination.
Mike spikes in. He leads with the right hand. Down he goes.
While Jake Paul wasn't knocked down by this, he staggered badly and lost his balance. However, Tyson couldn't close in on him fast enough to hit the final shot. Mike Tyson, like every other time, was working with the style Cus D'Amato specifically designed for iron.
Michael Tyson just absolutely attacked him. Watch this. He bangs him right back.
With his movement, Tyson reminds the fans of his younger days when he looked destructive in the ring, and here is how Tyson is preparing for the Jake Paul fight. When Mike Tyson made his professional debut as a heavyweight, he was relatively short.
And you see very, very quickly.
Therefore, his trainer Cus D'Amato invented a specific style for Iron Mike. It was the famous peekaboo style, which helped Tyson avoid shots, close in on the distance, and land his punches on the opponent.
Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
While Jake Paul showed glimpses of what he had in his boxing arsenal, the older Mike Tyson had more than enough to overshadow him.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to...
Truly, Jake Paul has been heavily criticized for his fighting choices, preferring to fight old retired boxers or young boxing novices rather than fight professional boxers to keep his dreams of being a world champion alive. Well, regardless of the choices he's chosen to make, there's no denying that he has bitten way more than he can chew.
I knew I hit you with a good shot. You took it. You took it.
Mike Tyson is definitely a mismatch for him. There have been glimpses of how Mike Tyson plans to deal with him when they meet in November, and it's sure that the baddest man on the planet isn't one to bulge like many of Jake Paul's previous opponents.
I respect that. I respect that.
After Jake Paul's most recent win, many boxing supporters were surprised at how quickly and perfectly the problem child finished a fighter who's had an undefeated record and bare-knuckle fighting champion, and as such, they've been more worried about Mike Tyson. However, Iron Mike Tyson took it upon himself to give glimpses of his best moments through his training sessions to restore the belief fans have had in him since 3 decades ago. Tyson had given his fans a hint of what to expect when he began uploading videos of his training sessions.
At 2 minutes 32 seconds of the opening round. Right hand to the side.
In many of his training videos, Iron Mike was seen working the heavy bag in preparation for the high-profile bout, which is set to be held at the 80,000-seater home of the Dallas Cowboys and will be streamed live on Netflix.
I don't know if he's in his prime. He's fat. He should be lean and mean. He's fat and funky. I saw him with his shirt off the other day. He's fat.
He was seen doing pad work with MMA coach Rafael Cordero in the video, showing off some signature hand speed and power that made him one of the hardest hitters in boxing history. He threw several combinations and moved his heat countlessly to avoid a counter from Cordero in the clip, which was shared by the Brazilian coach, who was Tyson's trainer and cornerman for his last fight, an exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. 4 years ago. Though another tape was released, one that sparked a concerned look on Paul's face, he wasn't fazed by the first recirculating tape. In this particular video, the 58-year-old machine can be seen on a new solid punch training, or let's call it speed punching, since his punches were coming after each other in rapid succession. The shared clip was one where Tyson was seen training with Rafael Cordero. In the video, Tyson threw a 4-punch combination as Cordero held the mitts. According to Cordero, the exercise helped Mike Tyson generate the greatest force and speed in the shortest amount of time. Additionally, referring to Tyson's way of punching, Cordero announced that Tyson's was the most violent slap I've ever felt.
Given by the ref in the early going. Mike gets it with the right hand and 8 down.
While we can't question his seriousness, as he recently battered a 5-0 bare-knuckle fighter, we also know that Jake Paul has been more ridiculous with his training sessions, with Mike Tyson appearing to be the more serious one. In one of his training footage, Jake Paul was seen doing quite unusual Rocky Balboa-esque sessions, nothing like the footage he had released over the past few months since the bout was announced. Rather than spar and train in the gym, Jake Paul was seen doing his training in an open space and in a car. With the vigor and intensity Jake Paul is putting into his sessions, he looks really set to give the baddest man on the planet a run for his money. In the training sessions, Jake Paul was seen in the public running up steps. He was also seen shadowboxing, also not in a gym, but on a rocky ground in open air. He, however, didn't stop his shadowboxing in public. He also continued it with so much intensity while he was in the car. It was at this moment he made a shocking revelation that gave more people insights into what he was really about. While in the car, he was so engrossed with his shadowboxing that he paid no attention when his name was being called repeatedly.
Jake! Snap out of it.
You should have called me Rocky.
Jake yells, "Snap out of that," the other fellow with him called. After a third call, that was even more of a yell, he responded saying, "You should have called me Rocky, I would."
Snap out of it.
You should have called me Rocky.
It was at this moment that many discovered Jake Paul was trying to imitate Rocky Balboa. Evidently, Jake Paul had drawn inspiration from the American sports drama film, written, directed by, and starring Sylvester Stallone. He had not only used the background music of Rocky Balboa, he had also used the exact location of Balboa's famous running on step exercise, the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It eventually turned out that all of these preparations were for the wrong Mike, as Mike Perry was the victim and not Mike Tyson. To get the better of Mike Tyson, Jake Paul must prepare himself even better than this. And to say the least, he's definitely begun the preparations already. Jake Paul warmed up for his November 15th clash with Mike Tyson by stopping Mike Perry in 6 rounds at the Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida on Saturday night. Paul looked on course for an early night against Perry, who has made his name as a bare-knuckle boxer when he set him down in the first round with a wide, cuffing right hand. Perry bounced right back up, however, and tried to swarm Paul in the corner. Paul, however, landed a hook and a right hand before missing with an uppercut at round end. Paul knocked Perry down for a second time in round 2, this one a clean knockdown from a jab to the chest and a straight right hand. But Perry, low on boxing skills but overflowing with toughness, kept stalking forward. Indeed, in the third, Perry began walking Paul down, trying to land leaping left hooks as Paul retreated behind a jab. In the fourth, however, a Paul hook and jab landed perfectly and took Perry's equilibrium, sending him staggering into the ropes. Paul peppered him with jabs, and another jab wobbled him again. A Paul hook caused Perry to stagger once more at the bell. In the fifth, Paul focused on his jab, snapping back the head of a stiff-legged Perry, before a sweeping hook and a right hand landed clean. The end came in the sixth, when a Paul hook sent Perry staggering into the ropes. A left hook and follow-up flurry had Perry hurt again, and he fell in the corner for a third knockdown of the night. He clambered to his feet, but the referee waved it off. "Man, he's tough as nails," said Paul, who claimed he had been feeling unwell and had carried a damaged knuckle into the contest. "I'm sorry it took so long. I did put him down in the first round, but he survived it. Mike Tyson, you're next." "I was trying to roll with the punches and hit your ass back," Perry told Paul. "You did a great job. You were way too fast for me and I couldn't adjust." The convincing and bloody victory clears the way for a fight against Mike Tyson. Paul reaffirmed the fight with Tyson is on for Nov 15. "And I'm going to get another KO and prove everyone wrong once again," Paul said. "Everyone said that it was a mistake taking this fight, that I was an idiot, I was risking it. But that's why I'm here. I take big risks. I put it on the line, and it's anyone, anytime, any place." Prior to the fight against Perry, Paul said a loss would cost him a chance to fight Tyson Nov 15 in a heavyweight bout to be televised by Netflix. Paul agreed to fight Perry in a cruiserweight bout after Tyson suffered an ulcer flare-up May 26th, prompting the fight with Tyson to be rescheduled. It was originally supposed to take place Saturday. "I love to take risks and do big events," Paul said Friday when asked about jeopardizing the Tyson bout by fighting Perry. Mike Tyson called and was concerned about this fight jeopardizing the biggest fight of my career. "That's what puts the pressure on me, and I love that. I'm not slowing down for anybody. Mike Perry is not going to be the one to stop me. I'm on a path to a world championship. I'm not slowing down for anybody." And really, Paul's abilities can't be undermined as well. His power is evident, and he has his sights set on a world champion. But he must first pass the Mike Tyson test. Regardless, Mike Tyson has sent a chilling warning to Jake Paul ahead of their November fight, after the YouTube star defeated Mike Perry with a 6th-round knockout on Saturday. Tyson and Paul were initially supposed to fight this week, but the boxing match was postponed until November after Iron Mike suffered a medical scare in May. The 57-year-old is committed to fighting Paul, though, and reminded his much younger opponent of how soon their fight was coming up in a menacing post to X. 118 days minus 16 weeks and 6 days, 17 weekends, 2,832 hours, 169,920 minutes, 10,195,200 seconds, he wrote on X. The clock starts now. #Tyson Paul, #the clock is sticking, #Jake's wake. Tyson also posted a video of himself silently watching Paul on TV before the latter went on to defeat former UFC star Perry. The 32-year-old bare-knuckle fighting champion was no pushover and even tested the YouTube sensation's chin at times in a grueling contest. However, after dropping him in the first and second round, Paul floored Perry to the point of no return with a blistering combination in the sixth. Paul was quick to pay tribute to his brave opponent on the night. "He's tough as nails," he said about Perry. "I'm sorry it took so long. I just hit too hard, but he took a lot of damage. That's a W, baby. I'm so excited." At 58 years old, many are worried for the former undisputed heavyweight champion. Speaking on the MMA Hour, Terrence Crawford, who has a strong argument as the best fighter in the world right now, was asked if he wanted to see the fight. He said no, I don't.
Tyson?
No,
Why not?
I don't.
I think Mike Tyson is an icon in boxing. He's done a lot for boxing in his own right, and I just think Mike is past his prime. Mike is old. I wouldn't want to see Mike go in the ring and get hurt in a fight where he is just doing it for the money or entertainment. I just think him having his health problems is another added reason why I don't want to see him in the ring anymore. Despite both men confirming it's going ahead and everything being booked, former two-time welterweight champion Shawn Porter doesn't believe Paul and Tyson will ever step through the ropes together. However, Tyson is set to get into the ring in ferocious fashion like he's always done and get the very best of his opponent, Jake Paul. But aside from Jake Paul, he's also come for those who have expressed concerns as regards his well-being for the match and tagged them jealous.
He started this YouTuber stuff out and he made it successful, and we're gonna see how far it's gonna take him.
Who would train me better, Jake or you, Mike?
Me, definitely me.
I'm 58 and what? I'm getting billions of views just from talking to somebody from fighting, Mike Tyson stated in a recent interview discussing his boxing match against Jake Paul. Everybody, even most of the athletes, they're jealous. That's whack. I say in your prime, you couldn't draw 1 million people, man. What are you talking about? You couldn't sell out an arena. Who at 58 could sell out an 80,000 seat arena?
Frankly, you are too old to be fighting a guy who's 28.
Well, I'm beautiful.
He continued, "Why you think he wants to fight me and not anybody else? Everybody wants to fight him. All the boxers want to fight him. But if he fought them, the only people that will come are the people that like him. The other guys, their parents might not even come to watch them. That's just keeping it real. They're too boring for their children to watch. It's like watching grass grow. If Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson goes down as a professionally sanctioned fight, it will be the legend's first since 2005. That June, Iron Mike suffered a stoppage loss to Kevin McBride after he quit on the stool between rounds.
I'm doing great, but my body is right now. I'm sore. Yeah, I'm really sore.
I think you're playing possum.
No, I wish.
With his latest comments, it is beginning to seem like Mike Tyson is taking the care and concern of his well-wishers for hatred, which isn't meant to be. Many understand that he's so driven with passion and motivation for the fight, and as a result, he's perceiving everyone with a contrary opinion as a jealous enemy.
No, I really like Jake a lot, you know, but once he's in that ring, he has to fight like his life is dependent on it.
It is expected that Mike Tyson gives the issue a better balance than he's currently doing, as many of his friends and other boxing professionals have nothing but love for him.
I wanted to shoot around because I wanted more action. If we only have 2 minutes, we'll fight more.
It's going to be
more action.
It's going to be a firefight, more punches, and it's going to be a sprint in there. So I think it's more entertaining for the fans.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of sprints because I saw him doing a lot of running. I've been doing a lot of sprints. Yeah.
And their worry is only to ensure that he leaves the match unharmed and safe. What has been confirmed, however, is that the fight will be keenly monitored and supervised to ensure the risks threatening Tyson's safety would be very minimal. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.